everybody, and welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We are your hosts. I'm Jessica Milagros. We got Big Brother Drew, Andrew Miller. We got Kemi Fagunle, and we have our wonderful guest co-host. We are so excited to have her, Miss Tanisha White from EV
Hi.
Canada 10. Hello.
I'm so
Before we
excited to be here.
Oh, we're excited. We're excited to have you. Before we go through absolutely anything, we just want to say thank you everybody for waiting. We were just having, of course, technical difficulties is our thing. So that's what we're blaming it on. And also, if you don't already, click like, subscribe, click to receive our notifications. This is actually, Tanisha, you are right in the nick of time. This is actually going to be our very last recap until finale because like we're gonna be in Canada, so I don't believe that we will have like an actual finale recap. But who knows? We might just have other people in. But yeah,
On the
this will
fly.
probably yeah, we'll figure it out. But for those people who will just keep on wanting to know, just click like, subscribe, click to receive notifications. If you have a question for Tanisha, we actually have some questions from you from Twitter.
Okay.
But if there's anybody here who is on and wants to ask Tanisha a question, Super Chat is a great way to have us look at the question and ask the question so that we know. If not, we're just going to go in with the ones that we got from Twitter. Um,
Amazing.
yes. So, wait, first and foremost, before we get, to the episode and see what everybody else thinks, Tanisha, how are you? How are you feeling? How has it been watching this outside of the house that you just left?
It is so surreal to sit here in my living room and watch the show when just a few short weeks ago it was me in the house. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, can I curse?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. We are not a kid friendly show here.
Tanisha, stop that.
Right? That's a good
I
one.
got that. Yo, Big Brother would scare the daylights out of me every time. Tanisha. And I'm like, huh. But no, honestly, it's such a surreal feeling. I have a mix of emotions because I hate that I'm on this side. I hate that I didn't win, but I'm also
Of
so
course.
happy because I got to be with my daughter again, and that reunion was like everything. It melted my whole heart. So it's a blessing and a curse, I guess. I'm happy to be back home and be back with my baby girl, but I definitely am so sad to be out of the game, especially now watching this shit, and I'm like, ah!
Tanisha, I know a lot of people, myself included, it's a little hard to shake Big Brother after you've been through the experience.
Oh,
What's
it
been
really
the
is.
biggest adjustment coming out the house, going back to regular life?
Just that, going back into regular life, just reintegrating back into like society and people, and I get recognized at the gas station and at the supermarket, and out here I feel like in Montreal, Big Brother Canada is not really known. It's like more in Toronto. Everybody knows about Big Brother Canada, like in Toronto and other parts of Canada, but out here it's not very big. But I still get recognized, and it's the most strange feeling because someone will tap me on the shoulder and I'm like, I got my mask on, they got their mask on, and they're like, and I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? Like, it's like it's just strange all around. I've been exhausted. I have these moments where I lay in bed and I feel like I'm still in game mode, so I can't shut it off. And I'm trying, but I'm thinking of speeches that I'm going to say to these house guests when I finally get to reunite with them again, because I got some choice words for a few of them. So just trying to get
It
back to my
happens.
regular life.
It's very
Yeah.
natural. That's a very natural feeling.
It's tough. It's tough, but I'm adjusting. I keep telling myself day by day, one foot in front of the other, and normalcy will come back slowly.
One thing,
It
sorry, I just want to get these off early because I'm like, oh, there's so many questions I have, but one
so
thing I
many.
really loved about the casting process is that we saw such a diverse representation of blackness. And of course, with
Oh yeah.
you, you're a black person that speaks French. What was that like,
I
I
love
guess,
it.
kind of seeing people react to those French speaking conversations in the house and
Oh, it
outside
was
the house?
actually hilarious. In the house, because there was only a few of us, myself, Gino, and Marty, that spoke French. fluently at that. So we would have conversations, the three of us, and the other house guests would be like, yo, what is going on? Like, are they plotting against us? Or, you know? And a lot of the times it's just such a comfort when you, especially for Marty, because he's Francophone. So for him to have that kind of piece of home to speak his, you know, mother tongue, it was great to even be able to give that to him. But I didn't even know going on, because I didn't ask beforehand if I could speak French. It was just not even a thought in my mind. So going in the house, I wasn't even sure if I could. And then Marty said, yeah, I asked, you know, out here, the two official languages, English and French, like, you're allowed. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. Let's plot on these people that don't understand.
Awesome.
So yeah,
That's
very,
so
very
amazing. Cool. Okay, so before coming in, tell us, like, what's your background with, you know, with Big Brother, and why did you want to go on the show?
To be honest, I didn't plan to apply. I had never really planned to apply for the show. I'd watched more Big Brother US since I was like, I want to say 12, 13. And Big Brother Canada, once it started, my girlfriend was like, oh, you should watch. And I'm like, no, it's trash. Like, nothing that comes out of Canada is like really good except for Drake. Like, that's what, in my mind, that's all I could wrap my brain around. So listen to this. So then I watched I think it was season 5 of Big Brother Canada. And I was like, holy shit. Okay. Now I see what everybody's talking about. And then I watched all the other seasons and realized, okay, there's some really big players here in Canada. But before all of that, I never thought about applying. It was literally on a whim. I was here at my house with one of my girlfriends doing a little content day, and we were a little tipsy. And I said, hey, you want to just do a casting video, an audition tape for Big Brother Canada? And she's like, yeah, sure. So we had our drinks, we turned the camera on, and we just went for it. One take wonder. And my daughter was in the back making mad noise. It was like a zoo. It was just an absolute mess. And I didn't hear anything back. A couple of months later, I was barbecuing outside, got the phone call, and I'm like, dropped the burgers on the floor. Like, it was just like, I thought you guys forgot about me. But yeah, I got it, and I was ecstatic. And I never thought in a million years.
Damn, that's a great casting story. Like, with my girls, fuck it, let's turn the camera on.
Let's just do
I
it.
like that's one of the best casting stories, because it's like you literally got cast for being yourself, versus like there's so many people who apply so many times and they just like talking to the camera like, hi, my name's Kemi, I'm 25 years old, and blah, blah, blah.
Robotic almost. Right. Yeah.
So that's cool.
I love that. Oh my gosh. So Tanisha, we've had your season has been a very tumultuous one, but like one that has been just, it's been a lot of flipping, a lot of alliances, a lot of you know, a lot of promises, a lot of lies, a lot of a lot. I think this is a lot. This is a lot of gameplay that I've seen, you know, on the show, that, you know, where not one side, there is not one clear side. There's just a lot of people going back and forth, right? So, in your opinion, going into the house, and actually you were one of the people that everybody thought was just like this big, massive threat. You were running the whole game, girl. Did you know that you were running the whole game?
I can't help but laugh, just because I would love to take the credit for that. I mean, thank you. I am flattered, but absolutely not. I was just being me. I literally was just kind of, you know, I would go into the Expedia room and sit there on the couch and be like, I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. And so to me, it's mind blowing that people thought I was such like a mastermind. And I really went in with I just want to charm the hearts like of everybody in the house and cook and be the mama bear, which is exactly what I did. And I'm hoping that will keep me around. Like, I'll kind of float under the radar a little bit as like she's not very threatening, but also I wanted to have like a social aspect of the game as well, so that I could get in with a couple of people in the house, and maybe win a challenge. I mean, a competition here or there. But I didn't have any really big like master plan like Kevin.
But you were, well, yeah, Kevin with the master plan, but you were also like, I apologize if you can go through all of the alliances you were in, because seriously, everybody was just, there was just so many alliances. There were alliances left and right, so I know you were in a few. We knew you were in
Savage Seven.
Mandems. You were
There
in the
was the
Savage
Savage
Seven.
Seven. We had our little thing here.
Yeah, and
Cold
you
as
were,
ice
girl,
in the
you
face.
committed. You committed. You were the only one during during evictions that was like, and
Yes. And then I would go on and I'd be like, guys, did you do it? And they're like, oh, I forgot. And I'm like, we're supposed to be an alliance here. So there was the Savage Seven. There was the Mandems. So we had
Yes.
this for the Mandems, me, Helena, Betty, and Summer. Then there was the siblings later on in the game with myself, Betty, Summer, and Jess. And I mean, that's all that I was a part of. And then there were the other, the other ones that were around the house that I didn't really know. But the one alliance I think that disappointed me the most was the Savage Seven, because I felt like we had control. We had the numbers. We had a good amount of people in there that were good at certain things. Like, Gino was this like physical specimen. And then we had Herman, who was like the comedian, but really funny and really good with everybody. And then we had Kyle, who was very, very smart and knew a lot about the game and the ins and outs. And myself and Summer, like, we're the baddies. Like, you got to have us. And like, I thought we were going to be able to like take over. And I couldn't believe by week 3 that it literally shattered at the hands of Kyle. Like, I think that if we could have gelled together better and that the situation with Moose and Kyle didn't happen, then we literally could have taken over the entire game and I wouldn't be sitting here.
No, one thing about well, we had Melina on the show, and we asked her about microaggressions and any issues in the house. She said that she was not privy to any of them because she was obviously wasn't there as long as you. I think a couple people in the reality community within this even space here can speak to microaggressions. But did you experience any microaggressions during your stay on the show?
And or people calling me a name that wasn't mine. The situation that happened with Jess, and we squashed it, by the way. I know everybody's waiting for the tea. I can go into detail a little bit more about that, but apart from that, on my end, I was okay. Like, I didn't have anything that really, really stood out or that bothered me so much. For example, Summer had the situation with Jess and Jess touching Summer's hair. And I've had that outside of the house many times. And it's just very invasive. And it's like, why are you touching me? I don't know you. Like, you reach over the table and grab my hair. And it's just like, those situations have happened to me in real life. But in the house, I was okay. I mean, yeah.
A lot of people will say that some things that happen within the game are just game. What's your take on, I guess, the statement saying, "Oh, this is it was a game move. There's nothing personal attached to it." Can you separate the game from the personal aspects?
I think that what people need to understand is, yes, it is a game, and there are game aspects that you have to be able to separate from personal. Sometimes, though, the lines get blurred. And I think that there were many situations where I personally felt like the lines got blurred between game and personal. For example, with Helena and I think that there were just certain things that I saw after the fact and after I came home that I felt like were unnecessary and I don't think are game related. So for me to walk into a room or walk out and you're rolling your eyes and you're just like, just talking shit like about me personally, like, that is not gameplay. That is just you being a rude human being. I don't do that to people. Like, I'm a very nice, kind-hearted person, so I wouldn't do that just for TV anyway. So I'm thinking also, okay, maybe it's for show, or for her to go into the diary room and say, "Sorry, Sienna, but I'm evicting your mama." Like, that is not part of the game. You knew damn well that you were going to vote me out, and that's fine. Own it, take it, make your decision, evict me, but don't bring my kid into it. And there were a few other times where even I felt like Marty was trying to use my child to get close to me. And it's that stuff is not game related,
bonds form in that house pretty quickly, and people share, these conversations with their family, their loved ones, and, even myself, I felt it was kind of hard sometimes to kind of, I told you all about my family, I told you all about my loved ones, and then for you to kind of, move like that, I don't know, it's a little hard.
It's a little hard, yeah, and I don't think that everybody has the same mentality and the same type of morals. Like, other people are okay with doing that to someone and then going to sleep at night, and I know I personally can't do it. And maybe I wasn't really cut out for the game in that sense. So there's a thin line.
Yeah.
I know that going in, but then when you experience it, you're like,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that what was great in watching you just in live feeds and on the show was that you did have, and maybe that's why everybody thought you were like the mastermind behind everything, was because you had such great personal individual relationships with everybody, right? So even though we saw that your biggest, I guess, your allegiance and you're a loyal person, your loyalty was with the Savage 7, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. And like your number one looked like as it was Summer. And that was like, right. So we knew that was your thing. That's where you were going. But then everybody else thought, it's like, TYNESHA, we got to get her out. Like, she's running the whole thing. She's doing this, because you were just like so great with talking individually with every person, that if you weren't talking game with them, which you were only talking game with like Summer and right and the Savage 7, that they were like, oh no, she's not talking game with me, she's talking game to everybody. Do you think like is there anything that you wish you would have done differently, like knowing that, like coming, like seeing
absolutely
coming in?
For sure. I mean, I'd like to say that I have no regrets, but it's in a game like this, when you're put into this pressure cooker and these situations, and you try to react on instinct and you try to play the best game that you can, and you come out and then you reevaluate. Like, I would sit here in my living room and go through each day and be like, what did I do each day, and who did I speak to, and why didn't I do this way, and why didn't I spend more time in group settings, or why didn't I, you question everything. Oh, Hamza, thank you.
Like Hamza, our boy Hamza. Hey, Hamza. We'll see you next week. And yes, Hamza says, T, you were great.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I think that I would have played harder, and I should have left that nice girl at the door, and that, leave her at the door. Everybody knows who you are in real life, and they know that if you're going into this game and you have to alter your character a little bit in order to win $100,000, they will understand. But I think at the back of my mind, I was so worried about getting out of character and then coming out to this weird world that like hates me because I did these terrible things in the house. That also plays a huge part in like the moves that you make in there, for someone with a conscience like me anyway. So I'm like, do I want to be snaky? Do I not? Should I have done this or talked to this person or said this or lied? Maybe I would have gotten a little further, but at the expense of what? Like my dignity? No, I'm okay.
That's the hard part. I mean, that I think that's kind of, and we'll kind of like go into this this episode, because we're going to talk about all the dignity right now from this final 5. Let's get through it, because I want to pick your brain, TYNESHA. Like we saw last week, we recapped the the triple eviction, which for us was like absolutely insane. I know that you probably had your feelings about that, right? I'm sure you were very emotional, kind of seeing everything play out. Did you at all expect that was going to happen?
No, not in a million years. I mean, yes, on the Marty Gino part, but Summer, I mean, come on. I couldn't even, I was this close to messaging Josh's boyfriend and being like, what the is wrong with him? Like, are you serious? I had to hold it together. I was throwing my pillows at the TV. I was so upset. And to think that we literally did everything possible for Josh to stay in the eviction against Steph that week. We did everything. Summer and I were like, we were going. It was like 24-8. We were just like getting those votes. And then you turn around and you put her up and then try to like throw her under the bus while you're at it with Betty. It's just, it wasn't cool. I was so pissed off. I couldn't even sleep.
Oh boy, I could just imagine. I'd be just as raging mad. I saw it. We were probably watching it. And I was just like, what the hell is going on? What is happening? Why is this happening? Like, I guess in our question, and I see from the comments, some people have actually asked this too. What is the mist that Kevin has as being he's in the final five? He is running this game. I said in the beginning of the season, he's not going to be able to manipulate a finger, but obviously he's running the whole game. I stand corrected. My mouth is shut. Nobody saw it coming. They still, at this point, and we'll talk about, the episode, but now is when Betty and Josh are seeing that Kevin is running, is manipulative, and is all of these things. But you all had a chance to vote him out against Melina. Why did you all choose to get out Melina? And I remember in the episode, because we didn't see live feeds, but in the episode, it looked like you were like on the cusp. You were like, I see the Kevin thing and I want Melina to stay, but what am I going to do? So tell us, like, what did you see Kevin as? Like, why is everybody so
I was
mystic
actually,
by this man?
You're right. I was right in between. What should I do? I knew that there was something up with Kevin because he was very, I don't know, there was just something about him that was off and I couldn't put my finger on it, but I said it to a couple people. Summer, for whatever reason, was like, no, like he's good. Like, we're good. We could trust him. And I'm like, I don't know. And then in the HOH room, I said to Melina, like, listen, there's something strange about this guy. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I think that at that time, I just didn't want to go against the house and paint a target on my back by being one of three. I think there were 2 votes against him that week. I just didn't want to take any heat at that point in the game. It was too early, but I knew there was something off about Kevin, and I wish I would have stuck to my gut instinct and maybe try to like get everyone to vote him out at that point. And I think that would have helped my game like tremendously and going like much further for sure. But I didn't listen to my gut. And then the same thing happened the Josh week. So I fought tooth and nail for him to stay. And then I come to find out that he was canoodling with Kev in the pantry about this vote to get me out, but for him to not look like he had anything to do with it. But you knew, bro. You knew. So these are things that like they keep me up at night. They haunt me.
That's the one thing about Big Brother is that the whole experience lingers far too long. And then more people meet after even alumni weekend will be a whole thing like, tell us about your game and what went wrong. And then you have to kind of relive all of these like, moments forever.
When does it end? Can you please give me like some hope?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Girl, did you just look at all of our faces? Because we were just like,
Kemi, tell me it ends.
I am definitely the wrong person to ask. Drew and Jess are probably better motivators when it comes to BB PTSD than I am. I am still very much fresh.
The one thing I will say how to handle it is that to always have things looking forward, because there seems like a lot of alumni always look back and like. If you're always looking back, things you did years ago, you're not gonna make any progression. You're gonna always keep reliving these nightmares. So I always say, fill your calendar. There's bigger things than Big Brother. Sorry for all the Big Brother fans in the comments. There are bigger things in life than Big Brother.
That Big Brother, yes.
Tanisha has a beautiful daughter. Her skin's glowing. You know, I'm sure she's got many fashion contracts popping up, where people want to say, hey, what is she wearing? So there's always things that are always motivating that will propel you in a progressive way instead of looking back and say, oh man, I should have nominated that guy. You know what I mean? There you go. Hamza knows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hamza don't fight nobody anymore in the ring. Hamza, stop the celebrity boxing, Hamza. You know what I mean? Let's just progress forward.
You know, I'm just always going to be fighting someone.
TYNESHA, the hair white, like, yes.
Thank you.
We love it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
I'm just gonna say, in terms of we've all. How long has it been, Drew? Like, you've been 3. It's been 3 years for you.
No, long. 4? I feel like it's been like 5. How long?
5?
2018? Yeah, almost like 5 years.
Yeah,
5
you were 6. So 4.
6, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so like 4.
Listen, right? I don't look back. I tell you, I'm always like, this is what I got going on. So like, Big Brothers, yeah.
So he's been 4. We've been 3. We know people, girl, from like 10 years back that still talk about Big Brother, that still go through this. It's like a constant. It is a constant, like, I mean, sometimes it's therapy to get along with. Here's the thing. More than likely, you will find better friends outside of your season than you will with people of your season, right? Mm-hmm. So the good thing is you always look at things as like, okay, I lived with these people, they double crossed me, they stabbed me in the back, I can't stand them, the things that they did. You know them more than anybody else would, because you saw them when the HOH, when it was HOH lockdown, when the feeds were down. You know a lot more than what any of us would know in terms of like their actual character and the stories that they tell. But then you meet people outside of the show that have very similar experiences to you. We like in our seasons, they cast people that are literally opposite of us so that we clash. There would be only maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 people that you would actually really get along with, because the whole idea of having the season is that they pick people that you are not going to get along with, so that there's drama.
They want the drama.
They want that adversity, right?
They don't want everybody to get along and hug and kumbaya.
No, kumbaya bullshit. That's nobody's doing that. So you just find the people from other seasons that are most, that understand you or other countries. Yeah. We'll hook you up with some US people, us US. Like,
listen, we love the Canadian. I'm like, me and Chada text all the time. So
there you go. Yes.
Love Chada.
Chada, awesome person to be able to do that with. I know I saw some tweets from her kind of comparing and stuff. Like, I love, there are definitely good people that you will like. I mean, but the drama within your own cast, that might last a few years.
I think so. Like, and I'm not usually one to like hold grudges or harp on things, but this game has just had this really strange effect on me that I didn't anticipate the aftermath of coming out of the house. So I was ready to go in and I was ready to play the game, but I never prepared myself mentally for what I was going to experience coming out. And I think it's very underrated. And I think that people on the outside are not patient enough with our poor souls that are damaged after we come out, whether it's week 1 or whether it's week 5. Like, all of the process leading up to going in is long as fuck. It is long and strenuous and annoying and tedious, and it's months and interviews and the whole, you guys know the whole process is so long. And then you have your sequester, and then that's just feels like hell on earth. And then you go in and now they're like, okay, go play the game. And you're like, they throw you with the wolves. So it's just a lot. It's very emotionally draining. Love it, but very emotionally draining. And I think that people need to be a little bit more patient with us,
Oh, yeah, and I think it's interesting, like, going from being like a fan and being like, oh, it's over, like everyone can just get along now. And then when you have been on the other side of it, like, I started watching Big Brother the year before I went on. So with season 20 that had like Haley, Fessy, Bailey, Swaggy, all of them. And then
bomb season.
Literally the season, if there's gonna be a season that's gonna rope you in, it's gonna be that one. So it's like,
hell yeah.
I constantly imagine if I had started watching 1 year earlier with 19, I would have never been on the show. And then like 20 is like, oh my God, I'm gonna have the time of my life. No. So like
I know, it's like
right. So it's crazy thinking like, I remember seeing what was it? The Hive and being like, oh, I hope they're all friends now. Wait, so-and-so's not following so-and-so. Why can't they be friends? And then like going on myself and being like, there are 8 billion people in the world. If I never see those 15 again, I will be completely fine. It will be A-okay. So it's crazy being on one side and having a completely different perspective once you've actually gone through it. Yeah, crazy.
I'm so thankful that I'm not the only one, and that I actually have, fellow house guests from past seasons or whatnot that I can connect with, and that I just don't feel alone in this, aftermath of.
Yeah.
We're here for the therapy sessions.
Therapy session. It will definitely be. It definitely is. Let's get into so we get into this episode, right?
Yeah.
We are coming right out of a triple eviction where we lost, where Josh was the HOH, right? Ended up, Marty was the HOH, ended up backdooring Gino with gummy bear gates off of a red gummy bear. And then automatically triple eviction that week where Josh won HOH, put up Marty, put up JC Lynn, ended up putting up Summer. JC Lynn wins veto. Josh then puts up Betty. Hot mess everywhere. Summer and Marty end up leaving. So the 3 casualties are Gino, Marty, and Summer. I know it was a wild one. This week comes in and we kind of see this whole week, we kind of see kind of the aftermath of what was going on, just kind of the back behind the scenes, like during commercial breaks of like, of Betty's just dismay and, and Josh doing what he did and lying about, Summer wanting, Betty out and all of this, just like throwing her under the bus, and JC Lynn not wanting to keep Betty, like wanting to actually keep Summer instead of, instead of Betty. Wildness. Tell us, like, what did we all think now coming into this last eviction episode where, JC Lynn leaves, so she is out. It was a lot of back and forth, but Betty, I guess to overall sum everything up is that Betty and Josh just now realized that Kevin has been running the house. Let's talk about this.
I feel like Drew should talk about it. I feel like he's got something to say.
I'm going to say this. This Kevin mastermind edit that we are being sold. Are you guys buying it? Are you excited for this Kevin victory, lead up? Because it seems that this is what production is kind of pushing the audience towards.
That I'll agree with that. And at this point, I feel like if not Betty, then I'm going for Kevin to win. Like, just because of because I know, and it's a little surprising. I surprise myself when I say it, but I think that from what they show, because the thing is that I haven't been keeping up with live feeds too much. And I also haven't watched back my episodes yet. So I'm just going off of since I've been out forward and how they're putting it together. From what I can see, it definitely looks like he's got his hand in all types of cookie jars and he's got a say in everything that's happening. The only thing is that at some point, I mean, it's got to happen now. Like, you have to pull out wins and you have to make like the big decisions, like on your own now, not on your own, but like you have to step up now and take that role of actually being the evil person. Because just being behind the scenes, like, I just don't feel like that's a good enough argument, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he has to start to win.
You looked amazing with the week you got voted out. I know you probably put some thought into that as well. But I want to ask you, these final ditch speeches, these opportunities to address your house guests before you leave the house. What's your take on the best way to negotiate or even leave that final impression or sway the potential voters?
Oh, you know what? I'm fully convinced that in that 30 seconds that you have to plead your case, I think that the house guests already have their mind made up. I don't think I could tell you I'll give you my whole home and property, and your mind's already made up before you go into the diary room. So for me, I was not gonna sit there and beg. And good on Summer to telling them kiss my ass because I don't care about y'all, okay? Because they weren't gonna vote for her anyway. So that 30 seconds. For me, I don't think it changes any goddamn thing. Take that 30 seconds and address the people real quick that you want to address, like I did with Jess. Real lunar, slide that in, and then just like go out looking like a boss, like a queen. Like, one thing I said is that if you guys make me go out in activewear, I'm going to hurt somebody. So tell me now, so I can put on my green dress and I can go out there like the boss that I am. Okay.
Yes, girl. Not many of us are. I got voted out in my activewear. Trust me, that I was not happy about it. It was cute, but it wasn't what I wanted. You know, it's not how you want to go out. At least I did it.
Unfortunate for people to get evicted in activewear. It makes me cringe. And then when I saw Jess get evicted right after me in activewear, I was actually low-key satisfied. I was like, okay, so bad.
So funny. Can I just say about Kevin? Okay, are you guys like deep into TikTok? I'm like deep into TikTok. So,
but
Kevin reminds me of this. Did you guys ever see this like trending TikTok? Hold on, wait. This one.
Happy Star Wars Day, everyone. Today is also
Happy Star Wars.
Not to be violent, but like I don't know if you guys are familiar with that like TikTok that was like viral a few months ago, but that is the vibe that Kevin gives me. And like someone said on Twitter today that he's 28. I'm like, 28? There's no way.
28 and not actually married. Like, I don't know. There's just such strange things about this guy. Like, why do you have to lie and say you're married? What does that change about your game? Can I know?
He's there. That like segment of Josh, like Kevin. Oh my God! Like when Kevin was like fake being evicted, I was like, wow. Like, first of all, there's so many layers to this. That made me somewhat appreciate Kevin's game even more. I said like maybe week 4, I'm like, yo, Kevin is crushing it. Twitter tore me apart. So I was like, you know what? Let me keep my opinions to myself. But here we are.
Right.
But,
you can't say one wrong word on Twitter and they go for your ass.
But oh my God.
Yes, that's true.
Like literally week 1, I'm like, wow, Josh might be one of the most attractive people I've ever seen in my life. Then I see him snot nose sucking his bottom lip to Kevin almost leaving. And I'm like, you're going to go out like this over Kevin?
Right? Like, is this really what's happening?
Tanisha, did anybody ever have the idea that Josh was extra? Like like the way Ika roasted his ass about crying for everything.
About crying. Yeah.
Was he that person?
He definitely was on the emotional side. I thought I was emotional, but yeah, he was. He cried a lot. He cried with the slop, and he's like, he eats every hour and a half, 2 hours. So the slop situation was mortifying to watch.
That's
and
hilarious.
For him as well. Yeah, definitely a crier for sure.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like when Kevin was fake self-evicting, and Josh,
I don't know what, but him crying like that was like, okay, first of all, buddy, you're showing the whole house that y'all are much closer than you're portraying here. Because why are you not, like you said, snot nose crying? Ugh.
I mean, I can't even remember the last time I cried like that. It might have been when I saw the Red Wedding episode of Game of Thrones. Like that is like a very, like, I can't even imagine exuding that kind of emotion for someone that I've known for like 40 years.
I feel like his cry tonight for his mom wasn't even as bad as the cry for Kevin. So I was like, I'd be insulted if I was his mama. Like, where was that cry?
His boyfriend. If I'm his boyfriend back home, seeing him snot-nosed crying over some like fake nerd who has a fake wife, I would be like, listen, you need to talk.
Listen, I swear, Kevin.
No fake nerd with a fake wife.
You guys aren't saying anything about Helena being on all fours, groveling at that man's feet, by the way. That was a whole other thing.
You know what it is? It's because I keep forgetting about Helena. I keep forget. I'm sorry. I forget.
All right, good night.
Bye. We ended it. Oh my God. No, well, let's kind of dive into that a little bit because, right, Helena was actually an ally of yours. She was part of the Mandems, right?
Right.
I remember a specific moment where Summer was trying, like, it looked like TYNESHA was the one who was keeping it together. You were keeping Mandems, well, Summer too, but Summer felt like maybe she didn't have the same connection with Helena as maybe you did with her or whatnot, because I remember there was an Expedia moment in the Expedia room where she looked back and she said, how can I have a better relationship with you? And you kind of looked and it was kind of a moment, right? What was the overall feeling that you all had about Helena? Because as you probably know, and I'm just stating kind of facts, this is not for me to like, it's not a Helena bash session, but she is known to be a rat. Her and Kevin are playing a rat game. Look at Drew. He waits he's taking notes.
He wants to see.
He wants to make sure he's taking notes. Kemi too. They take notes and they try to throw it against me. So I gotta
listen. Helena was actually never down for the Mandems. She was down for nobody but Kevin. And I later found out that day 2, I want to say, or maybe even 3, or after we had created Mandems, she went right back and told Kevin. Like every single conversation that we had, she would go back and report it to her boss. Her boss. So I just never really had like that trust for her, which is why for me it was an easy decision to tell Jess to put up Helena over myself. Like, obviously, Helena or Kevin or Gino. I mean, take your pick at this point, but just don't put me up. And then it ended up putting me up in the replacement. But Helena, I think, was never really, was never down for the Mandems at all. Like she said it. She openly said that she felt like she was at the bottom of the totem pole, which she wasn't wrong, to be honest. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know if this is coming off mean, but everything that I've seen since, I'm like,
yeah. I feel like if there's, it's the energy. Obviously, what you're providing for us right now in terms of kind of really putting it together is the energy that's in the room, right? Because that's one of the things that we can't see. And we're constantly talking about it in like when we do recaps with other people, something that we tell the people who are watching in the chat is that's one thing you can never gauge. You can always try to figure out where someone's going to go, but until you're in that room and you feel it's like this energy, why can't I get along with you? Why don't we like mesh? What's wrong with this picture?
Yeah.
Nobody really sees that in these in these videos, right? You just see like, oh, well, you know, Tanisha was trying, or, you know, Helena was trying, but they wouldn't give her the chance. But then they didn't see like how, you know, I don't know how
the
you all always,
interactions were.
yeah, the interactions, how maybe she wasn't, like how JC Lynn said in today's episode, how Helena wasn't looking her in the eyes and was a backstabber and was not being, outright honest with her.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
that feeling that she felt when
and
she
I
was
had that exact feeling an hour before eviction when I asked Helena straight up, because I started to feel the weird negative energy. And she had told me the day before, like, no, you're good. It's locked in. Like, what are you even worrying about? Like, you don't. She was basically telling me that I didn't even have to campaign to her. Like, she's that good of I guess, a snake or a liar, or whatever you want to call it, to make people feel so reassured. She did the same thing, made JC Lynn feel so reassured. Like, you are my number one. Like, no, girl, no one is your number one except for Kevin. And she's really good at that. So maybe that's that's like big ups to her on that part of her game, I guess. But she literally looked me in the eyes and was like, you want an answer right now? And I'm like, yes, Helena, I want to know if I should go put on my nice dress and get pretty. Like, could you let me know if you're going to evict me or not? And she's like, okay, just give me a few minutes. I'm going to come back. Like, just like toying with me a bit, when you knew damn well you sat in the HOH and told Jess that we had a whole man damn alliance. You went and said that to Jess in HOH. So why are you pretending now that you weren't trying to fight for me to go, you know? Anyway.
Now, this was after, right? You were already out of the house when you found out that she had already told everybody.
Yes.
This.
Because I had a conversation with Jess after I came out of the house. And so I got a lot of insight on that whole week, actually, and what was going on behind the scenes, and how there were multiple people that were saying my name to Jess. So, and I had no idea. Obviously, you don't know these things when you're in there. And
yeah, I think that it's one of those things like, okay, so Helena had mentioned in the episode that, you know, she gets to do, like, she does whatever she wants. You know, she gets to say whatever she wants. She feels like maybe that she's playing, you know, her and Kevin are making these moves together. She is, you know, she's making these, I mean, and she's been with him since day 2, right? So they have had quite a bit, like they've been hand in hand. Like she cannot make the moves without him telling her what Gino and them are saying. She's not able to, you know, he's not able to do whatever until she's telling him what you all in the Mandems and the girls are saying and doing, and then they put it together. Why would you think that Helena is getting more of that of the bad rep than Kevin is? Kevin's looked at the mastermind. Helena is being looked as the follower, as the one who's not doing it. What would you say?
That's a really good question. That's a good question. I think that I just think that Helena puts more into trying to make people feel so comfortable. Like, Kevin is a question mark. Like, he's a manipulator and he's like this mastermind, but he's still such a question mark. Like, I never felt like Kevin was like, yeah, you're good, you're my dog, like, I trust you. But I felt like that with Helena, and I think that she has that capability of making people feel this sense of like, I got your back, and then just so easily could clip them like this, that it's like, you're a fucking snake. Like, at least Kevin isn't making people feel that way, you know, where she is really going for like the jugular, like really trying to tug at your heartstrings, and then turns around and goes in the DR like, and it's like, ah!
It's weird.
Her DRs are wild.
I feel like Helena, like, it's constantly moments of like in Big Brother 20 when Rachel was like, what's wrong with Angela? Like, it's like constantly that, where it's like everyone who thought they were like close to her, it's like even tonight with JC Lynn, it's like, did you have, like, what was with the goodbye message? Like, why
is that necessary? Like, I think, see, that also, it plays into like game and person. I just feel like, why do you feel like you have to do that? You know she's going anyway. Say a goodbye. Say, I'll see you when I see you outside the house. Good luck in your life and whatever, and that's it. It's just, I feel like it's too much. And someone said here, Kevin is blunt and Helena is a liar, which I agree with, because Kevin came right up to me in the question mark room and said, listen, T, this is what's going on. I'm sorry, but you have too many close connections in the house and I'm going to have to vote you out. And I was like, fuck you, but thank you for telling me. Whereas Helena was like, oh, I don't know, I need an hour. Can you come back? And like, come on, bro. Like, why do you need to do that?
And like, I feel like I can understand to a certain extent where it's like some people who, I would expect it more from Kevin, I guess, but like some people who come into the game, it's like, this is my chance to really like show my manipulation and like strategic prowess, right? And be cutthroat. Whereas like, maybe I'm a school teacher in life and I don't have the opportunity to be as like diabolical as I otherwise would be. But it's like, it makes sense to be like that with maybe the pre-jury. But Helena, do you think you're going to get a vote from JC Lynn if you're in the final two chairs? Like maybe be a little bit more judicious with your goodbye messages if you truly want a vote, which is what this is about. Because it's giving like, if she is in those final two chairs and JC inevitably does not vote for her, then she's going to be calling her a bitter juror. And it's like, well, you made her bitter. Like,
you made her bitter. You did that. You didn't have to do that. It was unnecessary.
Like you already made it further than her. You don't need to like insult her, you know, add salt to the wound. And I'm not like a JC or anything, but it's like, if I'm JC,
neither am I.
Yeah, like, bitch, you're definitely not getting my vote now. Like, it would be very much like Bailey in season 20, where it's like, oh, you don't need my vote? Oh, perfect.
Cool. Exactly. Like, fine.
Yeah, and let it cost you the game, like it did Tyler. Definitely. You know, and that's the whole thing. I think that one of the things that is really so impressive about Kevin is that, again, like, he is playing very similar game and making those similar moves as Helena, but like we said, the personal aspects of it, like Helena could have, and I was expecting this goodbye message to be a very like, hey, JC Lynn, look, I know that we've had our ups and downs. I'm so sorry. I've been in a final three with these guys and I couldn't tell you this is my best chance. Like, I just, like, there's no way. But instead, homegirl hit it where it hurts. Like, she said, the problem is that I'm playing the game and you were there in a
and you were just in love and
you were just in, and I was like,
like, the damn nerve. Even if you felt that way, girl, you should have kept that one to yourself.
I was like, whoa. I mean, and even if Kevin's goodbye message was complete and utter bullshit, which was like, you're the best player in the game, you've won all these comps, you've done all of this. Like, how does it go from Kevin saying you were just so strong, I can't compete against you, to, girl, you weren't playing the game, all you were doing was underneath some guy.
Right. Like, are they even on the same page? And these two are riding to the end.
And this is the finesse. This is exactly. It's kind of like, Helena, did you know that these people have to vote for you? Did you know that someone has to choose you?
Of the people that are left behind, who do you guys see possibly beating Kevin in a vote? Because right now I don't see anyone.
I mean, I see Betty with the jury. I think she definitely has more jury votes, but apart from that, if it's not Betty, Kevin's winning. Like, that's really what it is. I would love to see them final two, and then they just, they duke it out in their speeches and see, best person takes it all, and that's it.
Here's the thing, and let's talk about the jury, the little jury segment that we saw, right? Really cute. It was Herman's 30th, and all of them came in, kind of surprised him. They all looked very buddy-buddy. Everybody looked like they were very excited to see each other. But it also looked like their mouths were just literally on the floor.
Hit the floor.
Because after each and every one, they tell their story as jury does. They come in with new information, right? So this is the moment where we're kind of seeing it, that they're like, oh my God, shit, it's Kevin and Helena. It's Kevin and Helena, Kevin and Helena, Kevin and Helena. So right now, everybody knows, I think, in the jury house.
They figured it out right in this moment. Exactly.
Right. So
and
really,
you see though that everybody's faces is like, it's like they knew, like everybody had some type of suspicion but couldn't confirm it. And then once, you know, the triple eviction, all those people came into jury, they were like, fuck, like I knew it, you know?
Did you know, Tanisha, that like, or ever have an inkling that it would be Kevin and Helena together? Like, did they look like they were really like good friends, close?
I never even saw them talk in the house. 5 weeks I was in there and I never even saw them have conversations. So whatever they were doing or whenever they were scheming and plotting, it was very well hidden. Either it was very well hidden, or I was literally just an airhead that couldn't see that what was happening right under my nose. But I think that that's what makes it so amazing, is that nobody would ever suspect Helena and Kevin. Like you said in the beginning, Kevin, like you look at him and you're like, who the hell is he really gonna, you know, mesh with? Like, he kept telling me that he couldn't find his footing. He didn't know about the game. He was like, can you be my mentor? I was like, is this guy off his rocker right now? Like, he would literally say this to me in summer, like, I need you guys to help me. I feel so lost in this sad world of Big Brother. And I'm like, okay, he's clearly a genius.
That. Like, I love when people are like that in these games, like kind of like Derek X from last season of the US one. Like he like kind of did that a little bit, and like I just love it because there are only certain people who can get away with doing that, right? Like, that's true. Yeah, like honestly, like perception is a lot. So it's like if you give like quirky or like nerdy energy, like there's no way that Summer is getting away with that. Like, that's not happening. No. There's no way that freaking Gino. Yeah, like it's not. You have to like play into like kind of your lifetime archetype. So I love like just seeing that sometimes. Not all the time.
I remember calling him out on his rubber ring. I called him out on it, and I was like, why the hell do you have it? And because he plays with it all the time, he flips it over on his finger. I said, is your ring rubber? And he's like, yeah, you know, I didn't want to come on with my good ring and ruin it or lose it. And I'm like, that's strange. I picked up on the weirdest things like throughout. I didn't take all of that and like just bulldoze through with that information and like try to work harder to get him out. I really should have, because like the little things that I would catch on to, I'm like, bro, it's very, very, very strange. Very strange. Which is why this Helena Kevin thing is like, it's awesome at the same time to see, because you would never expect it. Like you said, perception. Like Helena was always with JC Lynn and who else was she really hanging out with? God damn, you see, I can't remember this girl. She was with JC Lynn a lot. I know I would see her with JC Lynn a lot. And yeah, I just never really saw her with Kevin. And so now they're like they were literally ghosts in the background, like I guess making shit happen, you know? It's wild.
Yeah, it is. When did you find out that he wasn't married?
I found out the day that I was evicted, actually, or maybe the following day. I had like 3,000 messages.
Yes, you gotta love those messages.
And then there was one in big letters, and it said, "You know, Kevin's not married." I said, "What?" That was the one message. I was like, "What the heck?"
Let's talk about that, because I actually kind of giggled a little bit. Not giggled. It wasn't a giggle. It was just kind of like, oh, isn't that ironic? Because there was a moment where Betty and Josh said, is he even married? You know, like, is he even married? Is her name even, you know, is her name even Jillian? Is his name even Kevin? You know, and it's so funny because we're like, he isn't married, you know, like it but nobody, right? In something like this, it's like, well, he's not, so it's funny. But last year in Big Brother 23, we had a situation where Tiffany thought that one of the girls didn't have a girlfriend, you know, didn't have a significant other, and she was completely roasted for even thinking that. Oh, how how rude of her or how this, that, or the other. But it's like, it's part of the game. I feel like that is free range for you to think these things, because it is a game of manipulation and people lie to you. They lie to you. It's like free range to just.
I'm just trying to understand it. Like, what do you gain in the game by saying that you're married when you're not married? I'm just trying to understand that.
Exactly.
You know, what does that do?
That's my big thing, TYNESHA. Like, people run rampant with things in the house that are just like, it doesn't, like, what's the end goal here, you know? Like, I remember my season, I like casually mentioned that I was allergic to apples, and when I get out the house, she's not even allergic to apples. She was lying. I'm like, what?
People would say that it's less threatening if you're married. Like, it kind of puts you in. It's kind of like how people saw you as Mama Bear. Like, if you are your mom, right? You kind of give yourself more of this like persona of a more, of a more approachable, more trustworthy person. They
probably think you have like these like morals, right? Just because like, I'm a mother.
I don't know what makes people think that being married gives you morals. I have no idea, but
it was funny because at one point he go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, like, literally, I tweeted today. Like, it's funny how people think, because like I have a Bible verse in my Twitter bio somewhere, and like I get these messages all the time of like my sister in Christ. I'm like, just because I'm religious doesn't make me holy. Like, I am not. I am not one of you. Please understand.
Oh my gosh, I am weak.
But it is true. Z says that he was able to swear on his marriage, and it made Marty trust him implicitly. I think that it puts him in a different category to be able to say, "I swear on my."
Yep.
It's easy to say, "I swear on my kid" when you don't got a kid. Right?
Yep.
It's like, it's easy for you to say. I mean, I know in Big Brother US, someone like completely lied and said his wife was dying from a disease. You know what I mean? Was literally about to die. Like,
and he had a wife.
Yeah. So we're talking.
That is not okay. That is not okay.
On our season. There's people on our season that swore on their family and their kids. And
some people are obviously better at lying than more than others. And I think that's what TYNESHA was said at the very beginning of the whole episode, was like, hey, she was not the type of person who would take the low road or say things that were out of character.
Because it's at the expense of literally like your dignity. Like, is that what you want to be like known as? And then it also makes me question you, like, outside in the real world. Like, could I trust anything that you say? Like, are you actually genuine, or are you a fucking liar? Like, I don't know how to differentiate that outside. You were so good at it. You're so good at putting on this persona and this perception of this, who you are, and it's not even really who you are. Like, I find that difficult to swallow. Yeah. And he even made remarks, like, we were talking one time and he goes, I don't know how Moose's name came up, and he's like, I couldn't even imagine, like, well, how old's Moose? 20? He just turned 25? Like, he's like, I got married 2 years ago when I was 26, and I can't even imagine Moose getting married at that age. And I'm like making up this whole thing, and I'm like, bro, and now I think about the conversation. You're not even married. So who are you to insult Moose
even
and say
real.
You can't see Moose getting married at 25 when you're not even married yourself?
I know
wild.
It's
I feel like people like that, I mean, you better win. Like,
you
better win.
Like, win.
If you lose and you're out here doing like dirt, like, it's like the difference between Jack and Jackson our season. It's like, at least Jackson won. Like, at least he got 500K out of it, because if you're going out sad and broke,
I still will never get over 500K. Like, how do y'all get 500K and we get 100? Like,
we don't anymore. They get 750 because it just went up.
750.
So now they're making 750, which is even more of a reason for them to lie, steal, and chill. What am I done? Lie,
love that.
Lie, cheat, and steal. Yes.
Listen, they'll sell their firstborn child to like win that money at that point.
You know,
you can have my child.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. This is like when people like I now 3 years out, I realize, okay, this is a game. It was a game. And I think Arissa said it perfectly to Summer during her interview, where she said, look, this is it is not reality, but it is your reality because you lived it, right? So for some people, it's like, this is just a game. Why are people getting so upset? It's your game. Like, yo, you don't know how real it gets in there, because what's real is their biases, their, you know, their hatred, the, you know, their attitudes, what they do. Anybody can pass off for game. You can say this is what you're doing because it's a game, but you wouldn't typically lie in real world. You wouldn't typically do all of these things in the real world. Well, would you? Maybe they would, because some people, when they come in and they play, some people do play this game with a little bit more integrity and say, I'm going to come in being genuine and making these genuine connections, and that is their gameplay, you know, and they're not, and it becomes hard for them to lie. When it becomes hard for some people to lie, well, yeah, that's because they're very genuinely good. Like, I'm not saying that other people are bad, but I'm just saying they're, you know.
I think that it also comes to a point, Jessica, that it's like you have to keep up with all these lies. Me personally, like I have such a bad memory. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So for me to lie 7 different times in a day and then have to remember these lies and then continue the lies the next day, and then to keep, I'll eventually get caught. Like someone's going to catch on to me and they're going to be like, this is not adding up, you know? So that also comes into play as well. Like you got to remember all of these damn lies.
That is like, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I think the biggest difference for me when people are like, oh, it's just a game, like, it's not like we were filming like The Bachelor. Like the cameras never go down. Like there aren't like, you know, we mic ourselves up every day, but you know, the cameras don't come out and it's like, okay, I'm on camera, let's start filming. I might be able to act a little different. Like after about 3 days, no matter how you were acting on day 1, the real Tanisha, Kemi, Jess, Drew, the real you starts to emerge. So if you are a shitty ass person in real life and like you are like the jolly cheerleader day 2 through 4, you know, by day 17, like
that's true.
People don't know who you are.
Yeah, like the camp, and like I feel like that is like the biggest part that a lot of fans don't realize, that there's such a difference between a show that has cameramen and these like kind of like hidden camera type shows, because not only does it capture everything, but like you're either, if you can be on 24/7 for 100 days, you're a psycho. I'm sorry. There's no way that you pass the psych evaluation. Like it's really weird. It's impossible. Like this is literally who you are.
Yeah. And you see that with Kevin. I mean, not the psychoness of it, but you even saw it with Kevin in terms of how he stopped, like in the beginning was, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. God help me. And like, I don't know, day 30, he went and was talking about how, you know, there's, that people get rated, and then he all of a sudden he knows about Rob has a podcast, and all of a sudden he knows about, you know, all these things that, you know, only super fans would know about, you know, and he knows things about the game, and you're just kind of like, you stopped pretending you didn't know shit for, you know, like that didn't take too long. It didn't
exactly.
I mean, or at least he was just saying it to Helena, which at that point I'm pretty sure already knew that he was that he was a good game player, you know.
Right.
I didn't imagine that he wouldn't. We have a couple of questions for you, Tanisha, from Twitter. Okay, so I guess the first, well, I guess you may have already answered some of these, so let us know, right? One question was from Blessed was, is she mad about Kevin lying about being married? And has she seen his intro package? If so, does she think he's playing the game he said he would? Did you get to see anybody's intro packages? I didn't think.
No.
Because he came in hot. Like he knew he was gonna manipulate, lie. He said he would campaign against his mama. Oh yeah. That this was his whole thing all along. He said, you know, he would campaign against his mother if he had to. He was gonna lie, steal, cheat, manipulate everything. His intention was to lie about about being married. He was gonna lie about knowing what he was gonna do. He was really gonna just, you know, this is his gameplay.
This was in his bio. Okay, no, I didn't see that. I hadn't watched anybody. I watched my own. It was so cute. Loved it, but didn't watch anybody else. And no, I'm not upset about him lying about being married. I just thought it was fucking weird. Like, I didn't see the point in it. But now, having this conversation with all of you, I realize how it could have, you know, helped his gameplay. I get it now, but no, I'm not upset. I don't care. You could be married or not. Could care less.
Yeah. What is the most surprising thing that you found out since you've been out of the house from your house guests?
That Josh is a doctor. Like, this guy said he was a marine biologist.
Oh, is that what he said? I thought he was a student.
He said he was a marine biologist and that he was studying something else, like I guess maybe to get another PhD. I don't know what it was, master's maybe, or I can't remember exactly, but he said he was in school getting something else.
Josh?
No, not Josh. This is Kevin. He said that he was gonna. He also said he was gonna take out our faves and that he was gonna be the villain. That's what Kevin said, not Josh. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah.
Damn it.
It was his whole
whole game plan.
Well, yeah, that's why I said he wasn't going to be able to manipulate not a finger, because he was on the block and I thought for sure people weren't vibing with him. I thought people were going to get rid of him, and then he stayed and it was like, oh, it's downhill from here. Like he's gonna.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he got through that tough, that like the where people were skeptical about him. He rode over that hump, and that's the hump that he needed to get over in order to, you know, execute the rest of his plan. So if we would have caught on more, or maybe all come together, I think we didn't talk enough about it. I think we were all thinking it, but we didn't come together and actually communicate it to each other and say, hey, this is not adding up with Kevin. Like, have you spoken to him? What is the vibe you're getting from him? Like, I never really checked in with the people that I wanted to work with on what they thought about Kevin. And I think had I done that, it would have been a consensus on, we need to get this weirdo out of here. But it wasn't. And now he's on trajectory to win the goddamn game. But kudos to him.
Looking back at your Big Brother experience, TYNESHA, is there anything that you felt like you missed out on? Get the whole time?
Yeah. I missed out. I feel like I missed out on a lot. Like, first of all, going in, I said, I do not want to be the first one evicted. That was an accomplishment for me, to not be the first one. Shout out to Melina, because I love her, and like I hate that she was the first one to go, but I'm happy it wasn't me, because I would have said, like, listen, Big Brother, take me off the roster. I was never there. 6 days is not enough. Just take me out, okay? I don't want to be known as the one who left after 6 days. But like, I didn't get to win HOH or win any competitions, so that was very it was very disappointing, because I wanted everyone to see my daughter. I wanted them to be, and Summer wanted to see Sienna so bad. She was just chomping at the bit. She's like, I could picture her in my head. I love her already. Like, Summer, my girl, she wanted to see Sienna so bad. Just to be able to have that moment where you're in the HOH and people are kind of groveling and, giving you all this information and just feeling like you're in your queendom and having that, just being on top of the world. Get like win any prizes, like any money. God damn it. Like, I ended up posting the winners challenge when I actually wanted to play, but that freaking wheel, I am convinced, is rigged, because it never landed on mine or Herman's name, okay? Ever. And we were convinced that it was rigged. Like, Big Brother just didn't want us to play in the vetoes. So like, just not winning, and not like, I wanted to get to a point where I was in the house long enough to be able to get the messages from home. So like tonight, if I would have seen Sienna or my dad behind that plexiglass, like, that would have been TV worthy, okay? I swear to God, I probably would have fainted, bawled my eyes out, the whole thing. Like, I would have had Canada just in tears, absolute tears. So yeah, I definitely feel like I missed out on some stuff, but the overall experience is one for the books. I met some amazing people that I'm going to be friends with forever. I know that for a fact. I made great connections, and it was so much fun. Like, there's a lot of things that go unseen, like that aren't put in the episodes, but we had fun. We danced, we boogied, shake a tail feather. We stayed up, we laughed, we pranked each other, we just did the most, and that was the best part about it for me, for sure.
That is beautiful. And yeah, that the family, like this episode, yo, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I shed a few tears. I was like, each and every person, with the exception of Kevin's wasn't really that exciting to me. Maybe it was because he wasn't crying like everybody else. It was very
I feel like his reaction was underwhelming. It's like he almost
I feel like he was more I feel like he was genuinely more excited to see Marcia the Moose. That's how I felt. Like there was more excitement in his voice when he went into that secret room and was like, "Oh my God, Marcia!" Yeah. When he saw his girl, he was just like, "Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, Jill.
Hey, Jill. Like, how's it going?" I'm like, wait, not like where are the tears? Where's the Josh?
Kevin didn't give a Ross.
I wanted him to be like, like Josh, like Helena, like all of them. I just wanted to see the tears. I wanted to feel that emotion. And I was like, where
maybe he was
is
still
it?
too much in character. I don't know.
I know that he's like the villain and he's playing himself up as the villain, but I actually genuinely like Kevin more when I see the vulnerability in him. Like he's only cried like maybe 2 times, and it's been I feel like, well, is the game getting to him yet? Is it becoming difficult? Has he made those connections, or is he still this like cold-hearted ass, that is just saying, I'm still gonna lie, cheat, manipulate, do all of this stuff? Like, or did something actually get to him? Is it hard for him to let go of Josh? Has he made that serious? Like Helena had said, you are like my best friend in this house. Like this is like, it's me and you. Does he really feel the same way, or is he playing the game when he says yes to her? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you on that. I think that I don't know, maybe he feels like if he breaks out of that character, like it'll just kind of set him off. Like, I think that he just needs to just do it the whole time in order to succeed, type of thing, because he probably does really miss home or really miss Jillian, but he's so in it right now, and now is like the final stretch. Like, you can't let that get to you, or else it'll screw your whole game up. So I think that he's probably just trying to like hold on to this like character that he's portraying right until the minute he walks out of those doors with that money, if that's how it's gonna go,
Yeah, I wanted to say to Courtney, like, I just said it because this is very much of a we obviously know that is the real Jillian, but it's just funny because we're dramatic as hell. It's called sarcasm for those people watching. Yeah. Who do we think? Okay, so we're down to final 4. It is Betty, it is Josh, it is and it's Helena and Kevin. Betty right now cannot play in the HOH. We don't have, does anybody know that we would have already gotten spoiled by now had we had already known who the HOH was for this. We're surprised Hamza hasn't said anything. Why hasn't Hamza spoiled us?
I'm like looking into it right now, trying to see.
Kemi, check to see why Hamza hasn't spoiled us with who the HOH is. No, but
I like that. I like Josh for HOH and Betty for veto. That could work.
Really the only way. I mean, oh gosh, it just hurts my heart first of all, but let me say that first, we always, I mean, I can't speak for you all, but like me doing this and watching and recapping has really been an experience for me to almost, I kind of use it a little bit as this therapy because I'm watching and I'm comparing it to like how I played the game or how the things that I saw in my season. And I got a lot of shit coming out of the house because people said that I didn't get that there was this big major alliance within the first week of the season. Like this majority alliance came to life and was literally a big alliance until I broke them off. But yay! No, but I didn't know that they were a legit alliance for like the first 2 weeks of the season. No, close to 2 weeks of the season. But here we are at the very end of Big Brother Canada, and people still don't know anything. People are just getting that.
Just getting it now.
And that Helena and Kevin are and Josh, because it was the whole, all three of them are together. Betty's on the block and she still doesn't get that all three of them are together, or that all three of them have been playing. Like, she's like, this guy was my number. Obviously, if he's your number one, he's putting you on the block and not putting the other two on. What does that tell you?
What does that tell you? Exactly.
Why did she not put Kevin and Helena up? What are your thoughts on
and
that?
Also, by putting up Josh and JC Lynn, like, I don't know if she thought about or considered the fact that she gave Kevin and Helena the power. They were the ones voting. So it's like, if you are thinking that there's this thing or whatever, at least put one of them, put up Kevin and JC Lynn, or, you know, take away one of their votes. Like, you gave the entire, you know, the entirety of that power to the two of them, and then afterwards kind of was like, oh, you know. And I get that she was playing with her emotions at that moment, because she was just trying to get back at Josh for, you know, putting her up in the triple. And I get it, but I wish I could just call that purple phone sometimes and be like, hey, Betty, fix up right now, or you're gonna get the boot.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, Jessica says, I'm shocked that JC Lynn barely figured it out with the goodbye message. Yeah, I feel like JC Lynn wouldn't have. It was like almost an aha moment at the very end, where again, Kevin doing his due diligence of working those goodbye messages and saying, hey, I'm sorry, you almost got me. That's how good you are. But I have a final 3 with Helena and Josh, so that's not possible. I'm sorry. Exactly. Like, he's the one who's making these, like, he's buttering up the toast, and he's saying, like, here,
because he knows what he's doing. Because as a super fan, he knows that this is the part of the game that you have to protect your jury votes. And Helena's just not. I don't know if she's forgetting, or I don't know. Like I said before, I feel like she's kind of putting on this show a bit too for like TV, and saying these things and like doing these jabs and these weird things that she doesn't have to do. Like, at the end of the day, you're still playing for the money, and you still have, your game is now going to lie in other people's hands. Like, they're going to be the ones voting. You have no control over that, other than what you say and how you protect that vote with them, you know?
Absolutely. Drew, people are saying, speak up, Drew. Speak up, Listen, Drew. You're mad quiet.
I just want to know what TYNESHA is wearing for finale night. I know there's a dress in there. I know there's an outfit that the streets want to know. That's the question that I want to know before we get.
I know you keep asking the fashion questions. Okay.
Listen, I appreciate a good outfit. I appreciate that you dressed up while you were in the house. Not everyone was getting their hair or makeup done. Not everyone is putting on the outfits or you know, putting on. They forget it's a TV show sometimes, and that there's a horrible lack of fashion there. And even I was telling Melina, like, I feel like we were robbed of some amazing outfits.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh, Melina. Oh, her outfits are like on 10 all the time, and so swagged out, like very eclectic, very, you know, hippie, and I loved everything about her style, and
her use of color is insane. Seriously.
Use of color. Oh, do you guys follow her on Instagram? Like, her reels, I'm obsessed with her outfit reels. Oh my gosh, love it.
Absolutely. I watch them and I'm just like, how is she pulling this off? Like, and it looks good every single time.
Who stacked in Florida says, Drew, stop lusting. Get out of here. I'm just asking. You know?
Drew, I don't think
I'm on a show with these beautiful women everywhere. Sometimes I gotta just be quiet and let the women be the women. Like, come on now, y'all. Stop
Drew,
this.
I don't think y'all know. Like, Drew is a true, not just a sneakerhead. He is a lover of fashion. Look at all those sneakers behind him.
I know. I see the
all the sneakers.
I just appreciate those that put the effort into that unique twist on outfits, ensembles, if it's hair, if it's accessories, if it's tattoos, if just energy, you know what I mean? So I salute those that those are my favorites when it comes to Big Brother, the people that dress so well and represent, and have that authenticity, and not everyone has that. So salute to you, TYNESHA. And here's the one thing I will say to you as well. It's a blessing sometimes to leave pre-jury, because Lord knows what was waiting for you if things had gotten more intense down the road. And people like yourself, myself, the I would say the authentic people, it's harder for us to kind of bite our tongue and to hold our composure as things get more and more effed up.
Messy. I appreciate that, Drew. I think that you're right, and I think that the blessing here in not going to jury is just to be able to come home and decompress before finale, see everything out, and talk it out and be with my daughter. Like, I would have been sick in that jury house for an extra whatever amount of weeks without, I'm out of the game, but I'm in the jury. I'm still disconnected from reality and not able to see my kid. Like, I'm at peace and I'm good here at home. But as for my finale dress, you'll just have to wait and see, because it's going to be an absolute banger.
Listen, I can't wait to see it. I know you're going to be thinking of your speeches to how you're going to get it off in that last little, But,
I know. I'll be shooting them off real quick. You got 2 minutes. Okay.
Yes.
So we know, last year they didn't come in. Is everybody coming in for finale?
Yeah.
So that will be fun, because I believe this is going to be the first year in a couple that you all get together.
Yes.
Are you nervous? Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm super excited about it, and I just can't wait to see. I can't wait to see Summer. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. I cannot wait to see Summer and my squad, the alliance that never was, unfortunately. I want to hug them all. Like, I just want to give them all a big mama hug, and then I can't wait to meet all the rest of the alumni that's going to be there for the weekend in Niagara. We're going to turn up. I hope I remember what I did the next day.
I'm right there with you, girl. I'm right there with you.
Like, I've heard some things about Niagara weekend, and
girl, what happens in Niagara stays in Niagara. That's always
precisely.
Drew is just like, what? Drew would know. He's like, it's been
we haven't had a Niagara weekend since I've been, I think it's been like maybe 5 or 6 years. So this is something that they used to do. But I think there was a conversation where we just want to keep it alumni. I was never about that. I want to be with the people, with the streets. So I think we're definitely going to have a really good time. Fans, if you're watching this in Niagara, pull up. Having a wonderful event at Dragonfly. And also there's another one in Toronto. I'm not sure where in Toronto the party is. Probably for the best not to let you guys know, but
not for that one. Yes, the Niagara one is at Dragonfly. So if anybody is in Canada, if anybody's in Canada, wants to hit up Niagara, wants to meet, there's a Dragonfly. There's going to be actually not even all of the house guests that are confirmed to be there are even on that flyer. So there's actually more people that are going to be in attendance at that event. So the Niagara one is definitely one to attend if you're in Canada. I'm nervous. I haven't been in Canada in 5 years. So
Well, are you saying Canada like it ain't? Listen, Ontario's the province, okay?
yes, sorry. I haven't been I haven't been in Canada. I still haven't been in Canada, but I haven't been to Toronto. I haven't been to Toronto in 5 years. So I miss
You're gonna have a great time, don't worry.
Yeah, well, yes, my niece, my nephews, my brother-in-law, they're there, so I get to see them while I'm out there. So it'll be nice. But I think it's more traveling overseas, because I've done the States part and we're fine here. But with the whole COVID, did them just opening and like all of that stuff, it was just trying to make sure that everything kind of goes seamlessly, and it just
it's a little more complicated now with traveling.
Yeah, it is a little bit. So, hopefully everything goes well, but it'll be fun. So we're excited. Everybody, yes, people are saying, yes, I love Toronto. Yes, absolutely.
Wait, I did have a question for TYNESHA, because I did see
Tammy,
that America's favorite player is, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Canada's favorite player.
I mean, Canada is America. They're North America, but it's
true,
like
very true.
They're part of. There are Americans, but they're Canadian Americans.
Very, very true. If you could vote for anyone besides yourself, who would you vote for?
I would vote for Herman.
Really? Really? Actually, there was a question. There was a question that someone had messaged, and they felt like, why was everybody so distrusting of Herman? I feel like in the game, people just didn't. There was something off.
You know what? There were some things that he did that kind of caused it was like question marks for him, because he would be, he'd say that he was with our side, like the girls, and then he would go back to the boys' side and do some things, and then it would just be like a little weird. Like he just made weird movements in the house, and especially with the week that Steph was evicted, we knew we were flipping the house to evict her. It was the plan, and he's like, I might have to vote with the other side just to save face, and we're like, no, you don't need to do that. Just go with the plan, and it's just doing these little things that we kind of were like, are you with us or are you not? You can't have one foot in the door and one foot out. If you're gonna vote with us, we're rocking out. So I think that it was just little things like that, but I knew deep down Herman was my boy. And even after I came out, so many people were like, he campaigned for you, and they saw on the live feeds that he was really just going in and making pitches for me, and I appreciated that. So it was very temporary, that doubt that was there, but I think Herman was going to really rock with us till the end for sure.
Yeah,
so I would vote for him as Canada's favorite player, if I couldn't vote for myself. But I definitely wanted to bring that up. I see a lot of love here in the comments, and if you could vote for your girl, I would absolutely appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I mean, there was just I think the hard part is there was just so many great characters. All of you all did so great. The energy, whether or not you all come out being good friends or not, some of the relationships between all of you, individually and then together, and even sometimes the battles against each other, were just so interesting to watch, and they were just so great,
yeah.
And to be quite honest, each and every one of you would, with an exception of one or two, which I wouldn't name, but do really, really
I know, right? I wish
that.
there could be several of us that could win.
Absolutely.
I remember saying that in the house too. I was like, I wish 4 of us can win and split the 100K,
Yeah. I think easily a lot of people are saying that season 10 might be one of their favorite, Canada seasons, just from the simple fact that there was that you all were just so very fluid in the way you played, in the way you got along. It was almost like, whoa, yo, they're so tight, but you all aren't playing with each other. Like, you're not, it wasn't like you're so tight and you're also in an alliance. It's like you're so tight, but you're working with the other side, or there's other people that you're working with that you're not tight with. And so there was just a big mess of things. It was always something to talk about every week. So, y'all did your thing.
Yes. I truly loved having conversations with everybody in there. Like, I never felt like there was ever a moment where it was like cliquey and people were kind of like, when you feel that, like, you don't want to walk into a room because there's a certain group of people that are there talking. Like, there was never that. I feel like as a house, we did get along very well, and it was very fluid, like you said. And I genuinely think that everybody that was a part of this cast, like, I'm sure they're great people. So I'll leave it at that.
They're great people to some people. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Great people.
They're always gonna have people that are gonna think they're great people. And that's just life in general, right? You're gonna win some, you're not, people are gonna love you and people are gonna hate you just the same. So exactly, that's how it works, Anything else from this? Okay, so who do we think is going to win? Like, this is the last of it. Let's say, like, our predictions here. Who's gonna take this? Who do we think is gonna take this? Y'all, everybody in the chat, let us know. Fill it up with your thoughts of who's actually gonna win, who's gonna take it. Who wants to start?
I'll jump out the window.
Don't jump out the window.
I'm going with Betty. I'm rocking with Betty. I think if she's able to find a rhythm or to solidify another win, I think she's in, and the jury will be like, you know what, Betty, I want.
I love
that's who I want to win. So I'm all in with Betty.
B in the building. Yeah, business B. I'm definitely going. I'm rooting for Betty to win, and that's on period.
Oh, period. Yes. How about you, Camille?
Third, I definitely think Betty as well. Bouncing off something TYNESHA said earlier, Betty has some comp wins, and she has some clutch comp wins. So, and I feel like that is like my favorite thing to see in a player. Like, fuck a comp win, but if you can get a clutch, like, take yourself and get your safety when you needed it most, can't hate on that. Kevin has no
Amen. Amen.
He's second place. But Betty, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen Kanye West's like docu-series on Netflix, but to take the words from Kanye West, she put all of the moves into action, and with God on her side, who can be against her? So,
ooh, yes. Okay.
Love it.
Damn. Well, you know what? Since this show is called Girl, Let's Agree to Disagree.
No.
I'm going to be the devil advocate here. Look, I said I love myself a Betty just like everybody loves Betty. I love so many
face.
of them.
He's just waiting.
Drew likes. It's the
Listen,
thing is
like, I thought you were pro women. I thought you were pro women,
oh,
Jessica.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Look at him, but like throwing me on the butt. Yes, of course I am.
You know how I feel
about that. Look, I am for a woman to win. Therefore, I would actually really love to see. Look, I'm about to say, hold on.
The audience has been here long enough. They know exactly. They know Jessica at this point.
Look. Lady B's like a word. I haven't even said a word yet. I have not said anything yet. Y'all are going down my throat.
I know, right?
And I haven't said a damn thing. I do want Betty to win. The only thing is just I am more so of a realist than I am just like a wishful thinker, right? Would it be amazing for Betty to win? Absolutely. She has to win. She has to win this veto in order to do it, because if not, she's out. They're going to take her out. I would not see a Helena or a Kevin. Or maybe they would take a bet. Maybe they would take Betty. Who's to say that they wouldn't take Betty? Maybe at that point they would take Betty, unless Josh wins HOH. And if Josh wins HOH and Betty does not win that veto, then she's out. Because it's going to be either Helena or Kevin that's going to vote Betty out, because they're taking each other to final 3 for sure. So it would have to be a very clutch situation for Betty.
What are you saying, Jessica? What are you saying, Jessica?
That I'm gonna be a real Libra here and say I wouldn't mind any of them winning. I really wouldn't.
Here goes Jess on her political campaign.
No.
Pick a side and stand on it.
If you're with everybody, you're with nobody. You gotta
a word. But look, people feel the same. They're like saying just that. Sometimes, like I like all of them. I think all of them have arguments to win. I do.
Even Josh.
No. Come on.
Deep sigh.
I don't know.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. I do see, like, I think that if Kevin wins, it's actually a very well-deserved win, regardless of whether he was like lying and manipulating and doing any of that. So to be quite honest, if it's not Betty, I would probably prefer Kevin, Kevin to win. Helena just, I wanna like what she's doing, man. And I wanna not, and I wanna not, like, I wanna put her right there with Kevin, but it's just like she's making it very hard, like it's just not. Somebody posted and tagged us on Twitter not too long ago saying that we're roasting or that that we're shading Helena and Kevin, and that's not the case. I was like, that's not the case. We are literally talking about their gameplay, and if that's what their gameplay sounds like, then that's what their gameplay sounds like. Like, it's no shade to say that she made a savage goodbye message. That's not shade. That's what she did. And so it's one of those things that isn't going to win you that money. And I don't think that anybody would at this point. JC Lynn's going to go into jury and she's going to tell everybody about what Helena did. So at this point, she's probably just going to say, Kevin ran that. So I think that Kevin, unless they take out Kevin, which is Betty's, which is Josh and Betty's like major hope, I would love to see it. I want to see Josh win HOH. I want to see Betty, win that veto. I want to see Kevin out and have it be a Betty, Josh, Helena final 3. If they can manage it. But if they can't, then I want Kevin to win. Whoever takes out Kevin, whoever's able to make it happen and take out Kevin deserves to win. At this point, it won't be Helena, because she doesn't, unless she plans on really winning something and then taking Josh or Betty over Kevin, is the only way I will say Helena's there to win, not to just play partners, because sometimes you play partners, and it's like just us two together. It doesn't matter who wins first. It doesn't matter who wins second. That's how I feel Helena's playing. But Kevin's like, no, I'm taking this. And she's okay with being the back, in the back seat. So it's, I don't mind. She would deserve second. She deserves second all day, I know. I'm sorry that I can't be a ride or die bitch. I'm sorry. I just have too much love for everybody to just make it that simple.
Somebody said Libras don't want to piss nobody off.
Exactly. That's me. And that's me. I don't like pissing people. I see the goodness in everything. It's my fucking downfall. Look. Oh yes, it would be the Scorpio right here, up here, and the one down here probably be like, oh no.
Listen, I love
that's not right.
Listen.
Wait a minute. We're Scorpios in here?
Drew's a Scorpio.
Amazing. I didn't know that. That's why.
That's
why I
like
you. Yeah, you see?
Yeah, that's why Tanisha couldn't.
Zodiac brotherhood is alive and well. No, Jess is very much a like, okay, give me the date, time, place, what's like season it was. Was it raining that day? Like, was there a little bit of yes? And I'm just like,
no. This is a perfect. JC Lynn is a Libra, right? So did we see when Betty was talking to her like, "You're gonna keep me, right? You're gonna keep me," and JC Lynn was like, wait, why did Josh put you up? Why did Josh put you up? Like, she didn't say yes, she didn't know. She needed to
she was
understand.
like, I have to go talk to Josh.
Yes, I need to understand, because she needed, and I understood that. Like, she needed all sides of the story. Whereas Betty was like, no, bitch, you just say yes to me. Just keep me. It doesn't matter with anybody else. And that's why her and JC Lynn couldn't get it together, because JC Lynn isn't a ride or die bitch. She's not. Like, she wants to see. She wants to see. Oh, well, that might be a different story, right? Maybe for Gino. I mean, that would probably
be the only
be
one that she was really riding for.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did Gino work his magic on you, TYNESHA? Was there a little Gino?
No.
Sprinkle of the Greek. No flavor.
Not in the least bit. Like, he had like buns of steel that I like to look at in the jacuzzi sometimes, but apart from that, no. He's not. I like myself. I like tall men. I like. He's not very tall. Like, didn't do anything.
He looks a little. Oh wait, we talked about this. How tall is he? Do you think?
I think. Well, he said that he was 6 feet.
He was 6 feet.
He said he was 6 feet, but that's a lie. Like, I'm 5'11". I'm a tall woman. Like, I'm a tall glass of water. Okay.
I told Jess. Jess was like, he's at least 6'2". I'm like, it's giving 5'9".
No.
Don't lie. She was like, no. He's like 6. I'm like, his height does not start with the number 6, Jess. Do not do that.
He's a solid 5'10". He's a solid 5'10". So you
think you're taller than him?
Yes.
Wow.
Ladies, listen, let's not bash a man on his height. He cannot control that. All right. He you know.
I'm not bashing. It's just Jess and I went back and forth about this.
I don't know.
It was
so you were judging men on the show, essentially.
Well, I think it was more so like we wanted to be right, and she was very locked in, like knowing that he was above 6 foot, and I was very locked in. So it became less about Gino and more about like who's right.
The argument, but it wasn't that. It was like it says it in his bio that he was 6 feet. I think it was like somewhere in his bio.
Men do lie. Moose tried to tell me that the reason why he's a half an inch shorter is because he had a disc taken out of a plate out of his back or some shit. And I'm like, boy, you're lying. Are you lying about a half an inch right now with something that like a disc out your back? No, a vertebra. He said, when I was born, that's what he said, a vertebra. He goes, I was born with like a half an inch missing vertebra.
Not missing inches.
So it was missing since birth. Is that what it was? It wasn't that he just got shorter.
It was that. It was like some sort of story around that. I'm gonna have to ask him again to repeat the story because I know it had something to do with his damn vertebra, and I can't remember exactly. But they were lying about their height. Herman was trying to stand on his tippy toes, like, I'm taller than you, T. I said, you better go right back down there where you came from, okay? Because you are not taller than me. Okay. He's
well, like, so Herman is also a shorty.
Shorty.
Yeah.
Guys, what's going on in this podcast? All right.
The only tall man in the house was Josh. Josh is 6'3".
Okay. And that's why he had a hold on everybody, right? Is that why because he was a 6'3" gorgeous doctor looking.
The first night I walked down the stairs, I was transfixed. I said, who the hell is that? And then I went up into the question mark room with Summer and I was like, I think Josh is hitting on me. She said, girl, he is gay. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yes.
Not the only good looking man on the cast this season.
I think he hurt everybody, every girl out there's dreams of just like everything. We were just like, well, I mean, we'll leave it at this. It says, but Libras are all about justice, and justice means Betty needs to win the game, Jess. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. I'm gonna, they call him
Dr. Delicious. What's wrong with this? What's going on?
This just changed. This podcast just changed, and I think
we went a total different direction. Yeah, so I think it's time to go to bed.
Yeah, and I think Drew was like, what the hell did I start?
What's happening
with this. No,
I just want to know what
the
streets were saying about Gino. That's all I wanted to know.
That's what he wanted to know. He started it, right? Drew started it.
I know.
It's
a can of worms. You can't open that now at midnight. It's too much. We have to have a whole other podcast for that.
I know,
a whole
right?
other episode.
That being said, Tanisha, stay there so that we can officially like say goodbye. But we're gonna say goodbye to our lovely chat room and the people here that are here with us.
They were so amazing. I was expecting like some some negative shit, maybe some jabs. They were so nice.
But Tanisha, there is something that I feel like has been skating by the entire time that I keep seeing in the chat, and I just want to bring it up because honestly, this is a safe space. What is the snort laugh?
Oh, when I get really into it, when I really, really am like busting a gut, I snort.
I thought there was something specific that happened in the show.
Oh no, she has laughed so hard that it was like a little snorty. Yeah, she will like
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a snorter when I laugh for sure. I thought you were gonna ask me something about Jess because I feel like people kept trying to get the tea on the Jess situation, but I snort when I laugh.
I mean, first of all, here to you, because I remember, it was very memorable when you left and you said, and by the way, my name is Tanisha. It's important for people, for people's names, for you to get people's names right. So yes, and you're correct. And you said Tanisha. Did she do that more than once, or was that just like a one-time thing, or could she not get your name right?
No, it was one time. It's the reason why I did that going out is, well, first of all, I wanted to leave with a little spice because I was so nice the whole time. Like, just take the fire and like leave it alone. Let me have my moment of like being a little spicy on my exit. But I wanted to do that, and also I did want to just make it a point to say that names are important because they were the ones that told me in the beginning of the season that, would you rather me call you Tanisha or T? And I said, well, a lot of people mess up my name. I get Felicia a lot. I get, people just mispronounce my name. I said, so T is totally fine because I don't want to have to keep correcting people and whatnot. And so they said like, no, names matter. Do you want me to call you Tanisha? I said, Jess, whatever you want. If T is good and you can remember it, or you could say you want to do Tanisha, that's fine as well. So we agreed that T was going to be it, and everyone was calling me T. It's fine. And then like 2 days later, we were having a conversation with Betty, and Jess looked over at me and said, oh my God, Tiana. No. And I said, who's Tiana? And I kind of like looked around. I'm like, this must be another person of the cast that I didn't meet yet, but and then they were really, in the moment, they were very like, oh my gosh, like, why the hell did I even say that? I'm so sorry. Like, and did apologize in that moment. But like, I feel like I just brushed it off and I was like, oh, it's fine. But it lingered a bit, I didn't really address it like I wanted to in the moment. I didn't really know this person. We're day 3. Like, am I going to start a riot over not saying my name? It was like kind of like that. So by the time I was getting evicted, I'm like, I'm about to bring it up now and you're going to take it. And whether you like it or not. And that's what it was. Yeah. But now we're good. Like, I gave you all the tea, but we did speak afterwards. We addressed that situation. They took responsibility and ownership for it and apologized again. I apologized for things that I might have done as well on my end that maybe, like, especially with their pronouns, it's very difficult. It's not something that everybody is used to. And I did openly mess up about like the pronouns a couple of times. So I said I was sorry about that. It's very new for me. And we squashed it. And we talk every so often and catch up on episodes and stuff. So we're all good. Like, there's no beef here. I'm a very peaceful person.
Good. I like that. That's,
yeah.
We can tell that. Like, everyone in the chat can tell that. Like, you're literally a sweetheart. We loved having you on.
I know. Thanks.
Yes, absolutely.
People said I wasn't made out for BB. I was like, I was too pure to be in that house.
But it now it kind of stains you just a little bit, where now you have that newfound go fuck yourself freedom of like just telling people off.
Yes. oh my God, I love it. I'm like, who is this person? Like, I love it. I know I do. I really like that.
Yeah, you definitely become a little bit of a different person.
Have you guys seen those memes on Twitter that's like, you think you can hurt me? I'm a Taurus. Like, you think you can hurt me?
Oh, yeah, they stabbed you, did you?
Literally, that's us now. Like, you think you can hurt me? I was on Big Brother.
Like, nothing can hurt me anymore at this point.
Yeah, or though I think Brayden did one like that too, but I would be like, did you just stab me? Did you just stab me? I'm from Big Brother. That didn't hurt.
Right? Yeah. Like we're just, nothing can penetrate our skin now. We're built for life. We're strong as shit.
No, we are. But yes, thank you for coming so much. For everybody who's out there, thank you for staying with us. It was a long conversation. This again is our very last one for we think the season. If not, we bring some people back. Come back, like, subscribe, click to receive those notifications so that you know the next time we have either someone that we'll talk game to. If not, then the next time you're gonna see us is during Big Brother US season, and during and also I'm pretty sure we plan on covering the CBS challenge, which is literally on the same. I believe that it's going to be starting on the same day. I believe they're both
July 6th, I believe it is.
Yes, I believe it's July 6th. So we're going to get it all together so we can come back. TYNESHA, if you're going to watch it, girl, you got come back with us, recap an episode with us.
Absolutely.
Do it, because we would love you. We would love for you to. And where can they find you? If you want them to follow you, where can they find you?
My Instagram is plum_XO, PLUM, like the fruit plum _XO. And also my Twitter is the same thing, plum_XO, or you can just search my name, TYNESHA Way, and you should be able to find me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having us. You stay. And then everybody out there, we love you all so much. Thank you for being a part of us.
Thank you so much.
Someone says they're not excited about BBUS anymore. You say that until you see.
You'll be back, Moses. Come on, chill out.
What did they say? They said that the show was canceled.
Who?
Is that true?
You're such a liar. She lied. She's lied.
Oh my gosh. I'm so gullible. I'm like, wait, what?
Oh, you will know that Kemi likes to play like that. No. But we do agree that Baby Ken is just a tad bit more superior. I'm not gonna even argue
honestly,
with that.
Even the competitions, like literally when I see BB Canada competitions, I'm like, are they coming out with bruises? Like like just like strenuous almost. Like our games are pretty much all luck. Like, did you hit the target? Is there like a little goal post? You guys, I feel like you break a sweat in like half of your competition. So shout out to
that 5-hour wall holding on to the wall for 5 hours, like just a couple weeks ago, that was just wild.
It's it's just like y'all just, it's different. I feel like y'all is just different. We'll just leave it at that. It's definitely for another conversation. But thank you all, everybody. We love you all so much. Drew, you're quiet. You want to say anything?
No, listen. I'm grateful to be sharing this space with some beautiful women that I respect and admire. So thank you for allowing me to have a role in this conversation, ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Was that quiet? There's too many of us, guys. I want to let the ladies speak. Can't be yelling and screaming. There's nothing
that
wrong.
Is very gentleman-like of you to do that.
Plus, it's about TYNESHA tonight, guys. Like, y'all, come on now. We got TYNESHA here. We gotta let the people speak. Come on now.
Such a gentleman. That being said, we love you all. We will